Attainable housing that elevates living standards. In the 56 years that we have been designing neighborhoods, we have seen too many lower-income new projects that become instant slums that are a plague on the nearby community. Price should never be the main reason when designing a development and housing at the lower-income strata. We place livability and sense of self-worth as the primary goal. Unfortunately, this is rarely the case as all development is profit-oriented. This video will concentrate on single-family and duplex housing, which, if done right, can be cost-competitive and more profitable than a lower-income apartment project. Before we discuss market-proven solutions, we must first address the problems. Arriving home in an affordable but overly dense development along a cookie-cutter street that's just a monotonous row of garage doors and parked vehicles instills a sense of failure. The day the family moves in, they dream of the day they can move out. Unfortunately, for many families, they might never be able to afford movement upwards and outwards. These lower-income projects, typically subsidized by massive tax dollars, are often touted as workforce housing for school teachers, restaurant, and factory workers. To us, the term workforce housing is insulting to those on the lower-income strata. It's like saying those people are something lesser. Well, all it takes to need lower-income housing is a life change that most of us will experience, be it a divorce, being let go from your job, a bad investment, health issues, and so on. So let us just use the term attainable housing and not place anyone into a demographic. Architecture matters. There are sacrifices that must be made to provide lower-priced housing. These typically come out of the architectural budget. Many talented architects turn down lower-income housing jobs because there is less money to be made. However, architectural talent is the most needed when cutting costs. A great designer can deliver homes of character within budget. Obviously, to lower the cost of a home, the easiest way is to reduce the size of the structure. This means that the floor plan must become extremely efficient so that a small home feels much larger than the actual square footage. To achieve this increased perception of space, the designer must eliminate as much service space such as hallways, utility rooms, and such to maximize living spaces within the footprint. Higher density typically translates to narrow and deep homes, which are very difficult to design without hallways, especially in bedroom areas. The narrow home, with very little room for front and rear windows, will have the majority of the wall surface area looking directly into the neighbor's windows just 10 feet away. A better solution would be to balance width and depth to create a more usable, livable, and efficient floor plan. We designed many of developments for Amarillo in Bogota, Colombia. They have a full range of incredible housing for all price points. What they do not have is narrow and deep homes. They explained it like this. If a home is 20 foot wide and 80 foot deep, the total perimeter of the 1,600 square foot home will require 200 feet of exterior wall. If that same size home was 40 foot wide and 40 foot deep, the exterior wall is reduced to 160 feet, saving a huge amount of costs while significantly increasing the livability, function, curb appeal, and most of all, value. However, wouldn't a 20 foot wide product be nearly twice the density of the 40 foot wide home? As we will soon demonstrate, not necessarily, if we are using the newer design methods we pioneered. While it may not be practical to square up a home, an increased width versus depth is more desirable. Vehicular clutter. No matter how incredible the architecture and landscaping may be, if the project is filled with lower-income vehicles like work trucks, banged-up cars, and rust buckets, it becomes an instant slum. This is one reason poorly designed mobile home parks have an image problem. Most conventionally designed developments provide more space for parked vehicles than we do for parked residents. Typically, along a dedicated public street, the garage-to-garage distance will be between 100 and 120 feet. The vast streetscape, where people spend the least amount of time, sacrifices green yard space adjacent to the living area, typically on the opposite side of the home of the parking for cars. This rear-to-rear distance where people will dwell will be between 20 and 60 feet. This is not an affordable housing problem, it is a problem for all income levels. Land use transition. In a community with multiple price point layers of housing, where is the placement of the most affordable and the highest density housing located? It is typically behind loading docks of strip malls, along busy and noisy highways, at the entrances of master plan communities. As price points increase and density decreases within a development, only the highest priced homes get the most premium locations. Somehow, placing the most people in the worst locations makes total sense to planners that design development, create the zoning regulations, and cities that approve those designs. Now that you understand the issues, let us demonstrate some solutions. One solution is to simply move to the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas, where housing price points are incredibly affordable and much of that housing is very nice. If you can't move away, then these are the other solutions. This is a proposal in Rochester, Minnesota for attainable housing. Before we approached the city leaders, they assumed that affordability meant high-density apartments and nothing else. What we did was take a floor plan of an 800 square foot, 2-bedroom, low-income new apartment unit and convert the same square footage to a single-family home. Because the apartment would need extra square footage of common hallway, storage, laundry, stairways, elevators, utility rooms, and community room, in reality adding that extra space would be about 200 to 300 extra square feet per unit. We developed two model floor plans, a 1,000 square foot 2-bedroom home with a 1-car garage and a 3-bedroom version with a master bedroom over the garage. In this layout, we solved the vast area for parking and the car clutter problem by placing the homes along a private drive to the local townhome standards, which are typically between 20 and 24 feet wide. The garage is placed approximately 6 feet from the edge of the private lane. The side yard is used for parked cars as well as a private patio space. This can be either a zero-lot line or a standard 5-foot side yard with a use easement, which can eliminate the need for the extra cost firewall. Again, because we are squeezing the car service side of the home, we are opening up the living area and yards of the home. The homes have a variable stagger and are designed to minimize monotony. This allows a panoramic view from the open floor plan main living space of the home to association-maintained gardens and commons. This merging of land planning and architecture maximizes the perception of space at very affordable prices. The private side yard can be open to the patio or screened from view. Essentially, we have developed extremely efficient floor plans that can minimize construction costs and maximizes value. This example achieves 12.5 homes per acre, single-family detached, and yet with a huge amount of green space, plummeting the cost of land development construction, allowing more funds to be used in creating a better home and landscape elements. This is greater density than many attached townhome projects. These 20-foot wide homes could be made wider and less deep. For example, if the homes were widened to 26 feet, then the density drops to 10 homes per acre. This would be still impressive density. Another option, if the developer desires to create affordable housing on more of a conventional single-family or duplex plot, would be to utilize architectural shaping. This next example demonstrates two different scenarios of architectural shaping, which requires the more advanced method of design we coined coving. In this new form of subdividing, the homes, walks, and streets form their own individual patterns, eliminating monotony and providing more front, rear, and side yard made possible by reducing the street length required by conventional design. It is essentially geometric magic. Because none of the coved lots are rectangular, the angled relationship of the side lot lines can advance architecture if the minimum angle is kept constant. Again, most affordable homes are narrow to jam in as much density as possible. The results are homes that are essentially nearly all garage, and maybe a small entrance with a tiny window. With architectural shaping, we can gain between 8 and 12 feet of width without a density loss compared to conventional cookie cutter. To pull this off, we need both developer and builder or builders to collaborate at the initial design stages. In this example, you see a streetscape of what the previous conventional design would have looked like, and the projection in our presentation we promised would look like. Both have 35 wide homes on 45 wide lots, and both are the identical density. Here is what that same area looks like built today. The differences in curb appeal, function, space, livability, and value are quite dramatic. Another example on architectural shaping is this twin home or duplex section in Texas. As you can see by this original floor plan, there is a minuscule living space and a large massive hallway. Architectural shaping maintains the original square footage but nearly doubles the living space. More important, the extra width allows more function and significantly increased curb appeal. These examples are all variations on attainable housing that instill a sense of pride.
I hope this 8-minute video was worth your time. We firmly believe there are some problems with the solutions that are being presented for attainable housing. And I think in today's time, it's almost 2025, we need better design and better choices, especially for the people on the more attainable price levels. And again, we're creating some wonderful neighborhoods in South Texas along the Rio Grande Valley where you can still get a new home in the 200, really nice home in the 300s, but not everybody can move to the Rio Grande Valley. We need solutions for the rest of the nation, and I hope this video has opened your eyes to new solutions.